The year was 2013. Bryan Johnson, who's an American entrepreneur, had just sold his company to PayPal for a massive $800 million. But instead of jumping into another tech venture or blowing it up on an island, Bryan decided to spend his fortune trying not to die. Today, he spends an approx $2 million a year on himself under this project he calls Blueprint with one goal: reversing his biological age. Every day, he sleeps at the same time, he eats at the same time, measures every organ, tracks hundreds of biomarkers, and treats his body like it's a precision engineered system. But longevity isn't a personal quest for people like Brian anymore. It's become an industry. Billions of dollars are flowing into anti aging startups, and it's starting to change how investors think of healthcare. But if people really do start to live healthier for longer, it won't just change healthcare. It will change how governments plan social security, how companies design work, and how all of us think about time. So today on Forbes India, we're asking Brian one key question: what happens to the world if he succeeds? Brian, I'll start with a hard hitting question. What's the plan B if Blueprint does not work? And if it's delivering pizzas, I want to know if they come with pineapple on top.
Yeah, pizza delivery is definitely the backup plan, and we can do the pineapple for you.
Okay, so you're a pineapple lover.
I do love pineapple.
No, but for real, Brian, what's the plan B if Blueprint does not work? And I don't mean Blueprint the company, I mean Blueprint the movement. Don't die the movement. If it doesn't work, is there a plan B?
There's no plan B. Yeah, so the
Okay, so it
plan
has to
B.
work.
So yeah, plan B is to go back to plan A, make it work.
Okay. Brian, if we go back 5 to 6 years ago, longevity was this niche idea. It was like a hobby for the rich. But cut to
Mhm.
today, it feels like a whole industry in motion. There's serious capital in it. Governments are talking about it. There's clinical trials on it. What changed in that period?
Yeah, I think it's probably has to do with people's confidence that if they do something, it's worth it. And that many people have probably seen the success of a statin or of a PCKS9 inhibitor or or blood pressure meds. Like the people have seen that things work, and then you layer on top of that other therapies like hyperbaric oxygen therapy or other things that maybe there's now a turning point where the evidence is saying like this is worthwhile. It's not yeah, it can make an impact. That'd be my guess.
Okay, okay. And how big of an impact do you think AI will play in accelerating this movement? And that is as compared to previous advances in medicine that have taken a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Google last week showed for one of the first times that AI was able to develop a novel solution for cancer identification and making a cold tumor hot for the immune system to see. A lot of this has been kind of waiting. People have been saying AI is great to memorize things that exist, but it can't do things that are new. And their model showed they can, in fact, do something that's new. And that now means that AI can be a discovery tool. And if that's the case, then the predictions that people are making in terms of how fast we might be able to solve certain things might be much sooner than people imagine. And I think that's what people are starting to see, that maybe this is real. Like maybe people's excitement about longevity and extending our lives and health span is real.
Right, right. Brian, you've called aging a software problem and something you can rewrite the code for. How does the healthcare system evolve? How do medicine diagnostics evolve in a world where the body is an upgradable system?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing with me, for example, like my personal health protocol, I'm primarily taken care of by AI now because we have so much data about my body that it's hard for one doctor to maintain all the information in their mind at any given time. And there's too many variables to consider. You have my genome, you have my methylation markers, my blood markers, saliva, stool, toxins, like so on and so forth. it's too much to piece together in a holistic perspective. The AI is not a magic box. It still falters. It still has limitations, but still it does certain things that humans don't. And so when we are doing my care now, it's always the case that we're double and triple checking with AI. Like, have we seen this? Are we missing something? Is there something we could piece together we haven't? And I think that is probably going to be true for the economy more broadly. Is the AI is going to be faster and more effective than our current systems. And so people are going to gravitate towards AI-based solutions because they won't have to deal with bureaucracies like we have now or limitations of humans. So I think it will help accelerate every aspect. Now, again, it's not perfect. It still falls down on many important aspects, but the rate of improvement gives me confidence that over some duration of time, it will be our primary caretaker.
Right. And Bryan, let's talk workplaces. If we are all productive into our 80s, even in our 90s, um, how do workplaces have to evolve? How do they plan retirement benefits? How do they plan leadership? How do they plan succession? I mean, half of the family business issues will be solved with the
Yeah.
person at the top is not retiring.
Yeah, that's the thing that's so crazy about this moment is that, I mean, there's an open question, will any of us have a job in 10 years? We don't know. Like maybe, maybe not. And so I think this is a thing where it's such a wild moment to be alive. The change that is happening is so fast. And yeah, so I mean, I think in this moment, because we don't know, I think the one thing we all do know is nobody wants to die right now. So you can always come back to health always wins. Like you always will care about your health. No matter what happens to your job, you'll care about your health.
Right, right. And Bryan, if we talk governments, you have limited resources, but if there's more and more people sharing that limited pool of resources, I mean, what kind of burden does that put on Earth? And how do policymakers, decide for a world where,
Yeah.
everybody is living longer? And maybe as you talk about immortality, I mean, if that happens, what
Yeah.
happens to,
Yeah. I mean, predicting the future is a pretty hard business. And so like you look back, there have been several times throughout history where people have said, there's no way, we're at risk of overpopulation. And if we get to a certain point, we'll crush the Earth's resources. And right now we have an underpopulation crisis. We're not hitting replacement rates. So some countries are on a major decline, and there's a major concern. Can they still run their economy with a much lower replacement rate? So I think it cuts both ways. I mean, there's always a concern of like too much or too little. Right now, we're too little. I mean, fertility rates are down by 50% for the last 50 years. So like we've got major fertility problems. So yeah, there's just like it's a confluence of a whole bunch of problems, and it's not clear to me that overpopulation is the most imminent risk.
okay, you think because we've gotten our predictions wrong in the past, you think this might be one of those?
Yeah, I think that when you look back on humanity and you score their ranking, their predictions about the future, I think humans generally do a pretty terrible job on predicting the future.
Right, right. I remember this whole thing with India being this whole thing about India becoming overpopulated and then going into a decline, but the complete opposite has happened. It's become such a huge consumption story. Yeah.
Exactly right. That's all, typically the mainstream view of the problem is rarely the correct um, predict guess for the future.
Right, right. And Bryan, longevity also has a moral question to it. I mean, in the sense that does it increase inequality? If the rich are literally going to live longer, who should be responsible for making sure that it does not become, another class divide?
Yeah. I mean, mobile phones and the internet and AI, I think already has benefited the poor much more than the rich. So we have three successive tech innovations where inequality has gotten much better for, I mean, just in terms of access, like there's still an imbalance of capital, right? In terms of the top 1% capturing that. But I mean, in terms of lower income people getting access to information, access to possibility. I'd say there have been positive developments with those.
Right. Brian, we've seen this post-COVID. People have become at least a lot more conscious about their health. They're tracking everything. We're tracking glucose, we're tracking our macros, we're tracking our protein intake. What is that one metric you think we're still not tracking enough?
Hmm. Probably inflammation.
Okay.
Inflammation is at the root of most diseases, and it's a really good marker on how your body's doing overall. And the wearables are nice because you just wear them, you put them on your body. But the markers that require blood, either from a finger prick test or from a vein puncture, that intimidates a lot of people.
Right.
So yeah, probably inflammation.
Okay. We have been hearing a lot about inflammation now. Every second person I know has some sort of inflammatory condition. Maybe we're just
Yeah,
talking about it now.
yeah, exactly. I think it's probably rampant, and we just don't know how rampant it is because it's a little bit harder to test.
Right, right, right. And then, Brian, there's people in the opposite camp, people like Charlie Munger, who died a couple of years ago, as you know, but he lived
Yeah,
till 99, and Charlie ate all kinds of junk. And
yeah,
he ate what he wanted to, he drank what he wanted to, and he still lived. I mean, he didn't live a very healthy life. He still had some medical conditions, but he did live. He did okay. He was active throughout his
yeah.
life, throughout his retirement. And does that make you think that there's still a lot we don't know about aging?
I mean, I think if you look at people like Charlie and others, if you look at a lot of the centenarians, they'll tell you that their secret for their longevity is, a cigarette and scotch every day. That oftentimes that, these people who live a very long time, they live a very long time despite their habits. But they're definitely an outlier. When you look at the science, it's pretty good that if you smoke and drink and eat junk food, you're going to shorten your lifespan. So I think they're actually, I think, really negative examples in society because then other people look at them and they say, well, like, maybe it's not that bad, but they don't realize that this person would have lived that long no matter what they did. They just got good genes.
Okay. Okay. And Brian, you've talked about the obesity epidemic in the US. What would the equivalent be in India that's stopping people from living healthier for longer?
Air quality.
Air quality. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
India would do more for its citizenry to fix air quality than cure all cancer.
Right. Okay. Any plans to bring Blueprint to India?
I think it'd be a good idea. Not immediately, but I think I'd like to. I think we should.
Okay. Do we have a timeline?
No, we don't, but it reminds me that I want to do it. I really enjoyed being there,
Right.
and I left feeling very excited to do it, and I just got caught up with other stuff. But I should probably try to do it.
Okay. And Brian, the Blueprint website mentions sleep, diet, and exercise as the
Yes.
in that order. Is that all it takes to, beat aging?
I'm I mean, those are the power laws. If you say what things have the biggest effect size to improve health, like the most powerful therapies in the whole world, people say like, what's the one supplement or what's this and that? But really, the most powerful therapies are high quality sleep, daily exercise, and good nutrition. Those are the big ones. They're the hardest ones. Well, it's really nice to see you.
It was lovely to see you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Talk to you soon.